time we had more from Cat and her Vespa. So this is episode 2, Cat and the Vespa Underground. A 2-part story. I'll tell you when we reach part 3. It was weeks since Cat had returned to 1984, but time hadn't settled. Not really. Her Vespa purred with a strange frequency now, like a cat that knew more than it let on. Don't they all? The mirrors sometimes flickered, showing glimpses of streets and people not quite in sync with the now. Once she saw Mickey's face, grinning, wind in his hair, and her chest ached with something that felt like homesickness, but sideways. Cat took to carrying a notebook. She scribbled everything the Vespa did that was off. The days the chrome glowed blue. The radio's outburst of songs that hadn't yet been recorded. She mapped where and when the Vespa pulsed under her like a compass that spun only for her. One night, after a Northern Soul stomp at the Electric Ballroom, Cat cruised towards Soho. The radio was dead quiet. The streets were slick, reflecting traffic lights and neon puddles. She passed under a rusted railway arch and the Vespa lurched. This time, it wasn't a slow bleed between times. It was a crash. The mirrors exploded in light. The Vespa screamed like a fuzzed out guitar solo. Then, bam! Silence. Cat blinked. The air was smoky sour with coal fires and ale. She sat in a cobbled alley, her Vespa humming like it was feeling smug. The buildings were bomb-patched and the streets full of sharp suits and barely contained tension. A new era. She saw a poster. Carnaby Street, all-nighter, Friday, July 1967, featuring the action, the creation and the eyes. 1967, the summer of love. Mod's last gasp before the hippies took over. Cat rolled her Vespa out and blended fast. But this time, something felt off. It wasn't just the time jump. People stared at her Vespa longer than usual. A girl in a paisley dress whispered, "Did you see that thing shimmer?" A man with a lightning bolt pin glared at her like she'd stolen something. In a record shop, she ducked between stacks of dusty Springfield and the Yardbirds, hoping the vinyl gods might anchor her. That's when she saw him. Mickey, only older, leaner, with sideburns. He wore a sharp jacket and beetle crushers, flipping through singles like he was chasing ghosts. Cat stepped closer. "Mickey?" He turned slowly. His eyes widened, but not with surprise. "I knew you'd be back," he said softly. Turns out the Vespa didn't just take her through time. Mickey had caught a ride once briefly. A freak moment when he touched her scooter in 1962. It dropped him in 1971 for just a day before vanishing again. But it left him connected. He'd been chasing it ever since, decade hopping, memory haunted, and always just missing her. Now here they were, reunited in a moment that shouldn't be, over pints in a smoky pub where Procol Harum played on a jukebox. They shared stories, hers of the future, his of the in-betweens. Mickey had met others, travellers he called them, time riders. they weren't all friendly. There's a group, he said, voice low. They call themselves the Underground. They ride tricked out scooters, but they don't just visit time. They rewrite it. They're building something. Kat leaned forward. Building what? Power. Control. Erasing the scenes they don't like. They hate the mods. They think we're just noise before the revolution. They want the Vespa. Kat leaned back, her eyes narrowing. They can try. Later that night, the Vespa shimmered again. It was time. Kat climbed on, glanced at Mickey. You coming? He hesitated, then grinned. Always. The world warped around them, music and memory tearing through the air like a scratched record finding a groove. Excuse me. This time when they landed, it was a city they didn't recognise. Skyscrapers loomed like monoliths. Screens flickered with propaganda. And in the distance, a scooter gang, blacked out helmets, glowing lights under their bikes, waited at the edge of the horizon. One of them revved an engine. A sticker on their windscreen read, "The Underground rides eternal." Kat tightened her grip on the throttle. Let's show them what mods really are. And with a roar of steel and soul, the Vespa launched forward into the future. End of part 2. And now for part 3.